Collaboration gets marketed like a plush throw blanket, warm, friendly, everybody nestled together under a feel good slogan of teamwork. Leaders beam at photos of smiling workshops, sticky notes in pastel rows, arms draped around shoulders. Entire industries sell soft skills as if softness is the magic. Here's the punchline nobody prints on the brochure: collaboration done right is anything but soft. It's a razor, precise, demanding, and merciless toward excuses. The edge of that blade can separate brilliance from mediocrity in one deliberate stroke. If your version of collaboration feels comfy, chances are you're wielding a butter knife while competitors swing steel. Let's clear the fog. True collaboration doesn't mean everyone agrees, speaks gently, and moves at the pace of the slowest voice. It means interdependence so radical that one weak link threatens the entire chain and everyone knows it. It means conversations that scrape ego to the bone, data that exposes flimsy assumptions, and deadlines that stare down perfectionism with an unblinking gaze. Collaborative leadership is the craft of building a forge hot enough to melt individual agendas and recast them into a single lethal alloy. Why then does soft persist as the go to adjective? Because conflict wrapped in courtesy is easier to sell in a keynote. Tension sounds negative, precision sounds rigid. So the myth goes that harmony equals effectiveness. Walk into any company suffocating under this myth, and you'll smell it. Pleasant chats, low risk objectives, tepid growth. The team is polite, the brand language polished, yet nothing jaw dropping leaves the door. That's not culture, it's sedation. Step one to sharpening the blade is radical transparency. Share numbers like surgeons share scans. If marketing missed acquisition targets by 20%, put the figure in bold where engineering, finance, and design can all see it. Data is non negotiable reality. It slices through I feel and I assume. When performance metrics become communal property, accountability shifts from polite suggestion to baseline expectation. People stop hiding in their own silos because the walls are now glass. Transparency alone is blunt if you don't hone it with responsibility. Responsibility in a collaborative system is not a vague collective hug. We're all accountable, so no one's at fault. It's ownership etched beside every deliverable. One name, one deadline, one scoreboard. When a commitment slips, the owner steps up first to diagnose and propose fixes. No scapegoats, no finger gymnastics. The group supports, the owner leads the recovery. This clarity feels ruthless only to those addicted to ambiguity. Next comes engineered friction. Imagine two blades being forged. They clash, spark, and grind until each edge is sharp. That's the kind of discussion a collaborative leader invites. You start by framing the mission so vividly the team can taste it. Then you invite dissent, loud, evidence rich, purpose driven dissent. The rules: attack the idea, defend the relationship. The moment debate drifts to personal territory, you intervene with surgical calm and reboot the focus on data and impact. Over time, the team learns dissent isn't rebellion, it's maintenance on the collective brain. Of course, friction without a coolant overheats. Your coolant is psychological safety, not the syrupy safety where every notion gets applause, but the confidence that candor will not trigger retaliation. Celebrate the analyst who highlights a fatal flaw before launch as loudly as you celebrate the designer whose feature delights customers. Public recognition turns those behaviors into replicable code embedded in culture. Let's ground the theory in a field exercise. Monday morning, present the quarterly objective. Double user engagement. Break the room into cross functional squads. Each holds a different blade: product, engineering, growth, customer success. Give them 2 hours to generate strategies, then reconvene. Here's the twist: each squad must critique another squad's plan before presenting its own. Critique first, pitch second. This forces everyone to observe, challenge, and refine. No hiding behind PowerPoints polished in isolation. It's live steel on steel. When the pitches end, move to prioritization. Use a 100-point budget vote. Each person gets 100 imaginary dollars to allocate across proposals. They can fund one idea heavily or spread the wealth. Tally in silence. The outputs reveal conviction stripped of peer pressure. Top initiatives emerge, but the dollar spread also surfaces secondary bets worth keeping alive. You just turned subjective excitement into quantified commitment. Now we come to speed, the terrain where soft collaboration usually face plants. Speed isn't rushing, it's cadence. Implement weekly war rooms capped at 30 minutes. Agenda: what promised outcome landed? What blockage threatened the next outcome? What help is required? That's it. Standing, no slides, timer visible. The brevity forces preparation and respects attention. Momentum becomes a visible drumbeat. But what about quality? A blade dulls without honing sessions. Every fourth week, replace the war room with a learning retro. Each squad presents a success it doubled down on and a failure autopsy. The leader's job is to spotlight patterns across squads: the forging temperature too low, resources; the quench too sudden, handoffs. Retro insights feed directly into next sprint planning. Lessons circulate faster than mistakes replicate. At this point, skeptics ask, what if personalities clash? They will and they should. Personality tension reveals blind spots. The leader's craft is to redirect personal tension into role clarity. If design fights engineering overscope creep, facilitate a handshake document stipulating acceptance criteria, iteration windows, and kill switch metrics. The argument ends, the system improves. Let's zoom further into micro behaviors. Collaboration lives there. Watch how people interrupt. If one voice bulldozes, impose a one breath rule. No one speaks again until the previous commenter has inhaled once after finishing. Ridiculously simple, shockingly effective. Meetings slow by seconds but accelerate in coherence. Watch also for invisible labor: note taking, action tracking, calendar wrangling, often dumped on one diligent soul. Rotate that role. Sharing grunt work teaches shared humility and prevents quiet resentment from nicking the blade's edge. All this rigor can read like military discipline. Here's the paradox: inside a tightly framed system, creativity explodes. People push boundaries because the guardrails are visible. Ambiguity dies, and with it, fear of hidden traps. Teams run faster, not because the leader whips them, but because the path is cleared of sludge. Results speak loudest. One SaaS firm I coached slashed product cycle time from 9 months to 12 weeks using these principles. Their churn dropped by a third. Upsells rose 50%. Employees reported higher engagement even as the pace intensified. Why? Because high standards paired with high trust create professional adrenaline, not burnout. Let's land this plane with a personal challenge. Tonight, audit your collaboration against three blades. Transparency edge. Are critical metrics shared unfiltered across teams? Friction edge. Did vigorous debate shape the last key decision, or did politeness smother insight? Ownership edge. Does every deliverable have a single accountable owner and a visible deadline? If any edge feels dull, schedule a sharpening ritual tomorrow: a data share out, a structured debate, a clearer owner assignment. Small strokes, big difference. Collaboration isn't a feather pillow, it's a scalpel you must keep honed. Master the cut and you'll carve competitive moats competitors can't cross. Keep swinging the butter knife, And one day, you'll wonder why your bold vision bled out by 1,000 soft smiles. Choose the blade. If this exploration tuned your leadership instincts to a sharper frequency, hit follow so you catch the next episode of High Performance Podcast. We'll keep grinding edges until your teamwork slices clean through whatever challenge the market throws next.